Salute, Nick family. Welcome to the channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk, a member of the NBK family. I'm your host, Stephanie. The Knicks snapped their three-game losing streak last night, beating the Lakers 108. They had a 10-point fourth quarter lead that dwindled to two, but thanks to two clutch free throws by Hart Jay Hart, what else can we say about him? And a key rebound by Manuel quickly to end the game. The Knicks was able to hold on and pull it out. They have an opportunity to salvage this West Coast road trip and go 2-2 with a win in Portland. Randle with 25 first quarter points, Barrett with 20 of his 30 points in the second half, and the bench. We got a lot of production from the bench. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Shout out to everybody in the chat, the replay gang that'll be watching later. I appreciate you all. Let's get to it. All right. Coming into the game, the Knicks were 39-39 games over 500, sixth in the Eastern Conference, 7-3 over their last 10, having lost three straight. The Los Angeles Lakers were 33-34, ninth in the Western Conference. That race is a bit tighter. If they win two games in a row, they can go all the way up to fifth. You lose three games in a row, you could fall out of the play-in. That's how tight it is in that Western Conference. But right now, coming into the game, they were ninth in the Western Conference, 7-3 over their last 10, and they won their last three games, right? LeBron James has been out, but they've won three straight games without him. Jalen Brunson still out for us. We started quickly. Grimes, Barrett, Randle, Mitchell Robinson. They started D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Troy Brown Jr., Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis. LeBron James was out. And if you wondered why I only use the initials for the Knicks and the full names for the other team, is because we know our players better. So I just figured it's an opportunity to kind of know the full names of the players that we're playing. Not that many of you care about that. All right. Let me just give you my takes on the game really quick, actually. Like I said, the Knicks came out well. Julius Randle came out doing what he usually does, which is play well in that first quarter, get us off to a good start. He did that. He had 25 first half points. When he hit his first shot, I said, Julius Randle is going to have a good game. Now, they switched up how they played him in the second half. He's, as always, a willing passer. He didn't force shots. He passed the ball around. And last night, he got help. And this is the point I've been trying to make. When the other players are hitting shots, you get more space, you know, um, to operate. And you don't have to press, right? Because the other players are doing the job. I thought the Knicks shot better last night overall. They didn't shoot well from three, though. I think we were 25%. We'll get into it from the three-point line, but overall, the Knicks shot um, very well. RJ Barrett, he had 30 points. Now, I fell asleep, so I had to watch the game, the second half anyway this morning. But when I looked at the box score, I knew the Knicks had won. I said, wow, RJ Barrett had 30 points and he had 20 of them, in the second half. But when you watch the game, both him and Randall, it was like an uneven performance, so to speak. But at the end of the day, both of those guys came up with what we needed. I mean, you can nitpick and talk about, a turnover here and there. And, Randall was in the spin cycle and lost the ball, and RJ Barrett missed some. I mean, you could talk about that. And I get it. I saw it myself. But at the end of the day, we had lost three straight and Randall dropped 33 and RJ Barrett 30. 20 of them in the second half. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, eight, eight of it in the fourth quarter. And for RJ and for Julius Randle, this was his 16th road game with 30 points. So he's tied Bernard King for most 30-point road games in a season. And I think he'll break it. Um, Talked about RJ Barrett. I want to talk about the bench. I thought the bench was outstanding last night. And kudos to Tibbs for giving iHeart, extending his minutes. I think it wasn't Mitchell Robinson's best game, and iHeart wasn't perfect by any stretch, but the defensive rebound, the rebounding overall, offensive and defensive, how he played AD. Now listen, you're not going to stop him. You're just not. Players of that caliber, you just hope to make it hard, for them. So I thought we got good minutes from iHeart, and the same thing with McBride, and he got extended minutes last night. But let me just talk about what they did. Okay, iHeart had 11. He didn't score. He was 0 for 2 from the field, and then I'll check in with the chat after this. He had 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, and 24 minutes. And he actually closed the game, and I think he should have. He played really well, very active. He's usually always active, but very active last night. And that's another thing. I thought overall the Knicks, you know, the tired narrative has been out there, but this was the second game of a back-to-back, and the Knicks didn't look tired to me. They were energetic. They came out, with some urgency, actually. Um, McBride had 8 points, 3 steals, 2 rebounds, 2 threes in 16 minutes. So his minutes were extended a little bit. And he played really good defense. But those 2 3-pointers was huge. And one thing about McBride, he's one that does not lack for confidence. You know, he gets a shot and it's a good shot, he's gonna put it up. But that's what Tibbs preaches anyway. Don't give up good shots. And he took them and he made them last night. I thought he played very well. Obi Toppin, um, 9 points. He had a 3, and I think 1 rebound, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, we're getting to transition buckets again. Shout out to Ron from Still Nick Fans. He mentioned this on his Saturday show, Know the Ledge, that we weren't getting those league outs for Obi's and Obi Toppin and those easy baskets. Quick hasn't been looking for him. I don't know if I would say that. He just hasn't been getting them. But Josh Hart now is looking for Obi Toppin. And I think the last 2 games, the Knicks have outscored their average in fast break points. And Obi Toppins, his few leak out baskets are a part of it. He played very well last night in his 12 minutes. And what can you say about Josh Hart? We say this over and over. What he does not show up in the stat sheet. He had 8 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 clutch free throws in 32 minutes. But that just doesn't tell the story. He's a ball mover. You know, he has a shot, he'll pass it because this person has a better shot, right? He gets a rebound, and sometimes he does go coast to coast, but if he sees somebody up ahead, he's gonna pass it up ahead. I think it was this one game on this West Coast road trip, he hit RJ Barrett right on the dime for 2. The passes to Obi Toppin, he just moves the ball. I just love um the way he plays. The second chance opportunities, that he gives us, him and iHeart with the offensive rebounds. And he hit 2 really big 3-pointers for us last game. I just love this guy. You know, he'll probably opt out, you know, um, after the end of this season. And there's no doubt in my mind that the Knicks should extend him, you know? Um, and just a little shout out to Tibbs. I know he gets a lot of heat for staying with iHeart, who played relatively well, for extending McBride's minutes, for subbing out RJ. I think it was the last possession or 2 of the game, for Grimes. Tibbs is not perfect either. No one on this team is, but give credit where credit is due. The Knicks needed that game last night. We were still without Jalen Brunson, and it looks like we're gonna be without him. The earliest we can expect to see him is probably next week, Saturday, right? So he'll miss the Portland game, it seems like. All right, let me check in with the chat. JJ, appreciate you. Hart can shoot it. He should be less tentative with shooting it. I agree. I agree. You do wonder with more um volume, will he be um as efficient? But the history has shown that he is. When he shoots more three-pointers, he actually shoot it better. And I don't think he's gonna shoot it at this clip. I think he's at over 50%. But the Knicks are not a very good three-point shooting team. So I agree with you, JJ. Even if it's not at 50% or whatever it is right now, even if it goes down to 35, 36%, that's about what the Knicks are shooting. So I do think he gives up a lot of shots. I would like to see him shoot more off the catch. And I saw him. Now I don't know if he can do this. Those who know Josh Hart, who've watched him more than I have, let me know. But I think it was the last game, he created a shot, with the turnaround jumper. So if that's something that's in his game, you're right. I would like to see him shoot the three more and just be more aggressive offensively. Salute, sis. Pamela Willis, listening from Facebook. Appreciate you. Great win without JB. Yeah. And we're going to need another one. We'll talk about Portland, who, if you look at their record and statistically, they're not a good team, but there's gonna be a lot of motivation, at least on Cam Reddish part. And teams usually, you want to play better when you play the team that traded you, but your teammates also understand that you want to win and they tend to rally around you. So I think Portland is going to be a tough game for us in Port. And again, without um, Jalen Brunson. Cover the spread. First time y'all not hating on RJ. Y'all finally coming around. I hear you. For me, I just call it as I see it. If you're not playing well that game, you're not playing well that game. If you're not playing well for a stretch of a game, you're not playing well for a stretch of a game. You know, if you do play well, you play well that game. I think for us as fans is, when a player has one game, that's one game. And when a player has one bad game or even two bad games, it's a bad game. You know, the Knicks lost 3 straight, and I said, "Good teams lose games." Denver, believe it or not, is on a 3-game losing streak. If I'm not mistaken, they're number 1 in the Western Conference. Good teams lose games in a row. They lost to the Brooklyn Nets, last night. Brooklyn is balling. I mean, if the Knicks want the 5th spot, they're gonna have to take it because, Brooklyn is not going away, it seems. Jarrell with his new hashtag pay hard. Good morning, staffer. I appreciate you. All right. Okay. Paris Doug, I appreciate you. Salute Nick family. Great mental toughness win. Good showing by Randall. My favorite RJ Guts game. Josh Hart, great game. Quickly good bounce back game. Definitely, for sure. Sharon, a power forward leaking out is never a good thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about never because think about it. I get it in terms of wanting to stay in and get the rebounds. But right now, the Knicks are having a difficult time scoring. Even last night, we scored 100 and what, 12 points. Um, we usually score a bit, more than that, but that's fine. 112 points is fine. But you're without Jalen Brunson. You're not a good shooting team anyway. Remember, we're in the 20s out of 30 teams in field goal percentage, three-point percentage, free throw percentage. You're without Jalen Brunson. Sometimes you gotta get some transition baskets, and you just gotta hope that the rest of the team. You got Josh Hart in there, who's a good rebounder. Randall's a good rebounder. Robinson. Sometimes you just need that easy, that easy basket. All right. Let me see. Jerry Fitz, appreciate you. Knicks are 25-1 when holding teams to 108 or under. Only loss was Saturday to the Clips. In my opinion, this is who the Knicks are. I think the Knicks are okay. It's hard to do that in this NBA. It's hard to do that. It's hard to, keep teams to under 108. If you're able to do it, like you said, you're 25-1, but it's not easy to do. JJ Hartenstein played real good defense versus AD. Mitch didn't have it last night. That was my assessment um, as well. Marlon Kahn. I love to get a compliment. Stephanie, you seem to be one of the few people who make a lot of sense. Thank you. Listen, I learn from everybody. I listen to other podcasters. I agree or, disagree. Um, hey, it is what it is. We're all different. Jerry Fitz, you can talk about RJ's shortcomings. You usually do. Yeah, I do. Good morning. This Knicks match well against teams like the Lakers, teams like Toronto, Cleveland, Clippers, Milwaukee. They are bad matchup for the Knicks. They are very long. Okay. Looney underscore got it. RJ took over in the second half. Yeah, he had a really good second half. He had 20 of his 30 points were in the second half. And 11, if I'm not mistaken, 11 of those eight, let me see, 13 of his 20, 13 of those 20 points were in the fourth quarter, and we needed every one of them. RJ played really well last night. Thomas Banks, he was cooking. Um, in the fourth, JJ Hartenstein had the best 0-point game ever. His rebounding and defense versus AD was impressive. Yeah, no doubt. Also, RJ and Randall stepped up. The bench came through. Angel Torres, good morning. Good, we won. Brooklyn is on fire. They are. They are. All right. Ashley Inc. One, salute. My son Deuce was loose last night. Great bounce back victory. I was supposed to be at that game, but unfortunately, I had an Oscar party clash with the game. Ah, you missed a good one. Tim Smith, Josh Hart is looking for Obi, and Josh's rebounding allows Obi to get out and run. That's a good point. That's a good point. Tim Smith again, good morning, all. Not pretty, but we got the W. Good bounce back from Julius. Last year, he'd have been weeks recovering from those Clippers game. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have no concerns about Julius Randle coming into this game. None. And I have no concerns about him, as far as his emotionality for the rest of the season. None. I just think I just think it's a non-issue. I think it was a one-time thing. I think he's going to be fine, and I think the Knicks are going to be fine. But we got to be healthy. We really need Jalen Brunson. He's a big part of what we do. We were able to get that game last night without him. We got to get another one. Portland as well. All right. I like to show this slide. This is the lead tracker. Just get a sense of the flow of the game. The Knicks' biggest lead was 10. That was in the fourth quarter. The Lakers' biggest lead was 7. The game was tied 7 times, and there were 11 lead changes. You know, the Knicks. Listen, the Knicks lost 3 games, but they weren't blowouts. The Knicks was in that Charlotte game. The Knicks were in that Sacramento game. The Knicks were in the Clippers game. They had an opportunity to win all 3 games, which is why I am not panicking. They were without Jalen Brunson. He did play half of the Sacramento game, and the Knicks just have not been shooting the ball well. They just haven't. So that's why I wasn't concerned. I think we're gonna be all right. All right. Game scorers, Randall, 33 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 45.8% from the field. The Knicks did not shoot well from the three-point line last night, under 30%. Right. But as a team, even given that, that just lets you know they were shooting lights out from two-point range, right? Because they shot 47.7% overall, and that takes into account just 29.7% from the three, right? So the 2-point field goal percentage was lights out last night. RJ Barrett, 30 points, 5 rebounds, 44.4% from the field, but again, only 12.5% from three. 1 for 8 for three. He has not been shooting the three ball well since the All-Star break, since the season overall, but dropped 30, shot 44.4% overall. And that also tells you if you're shooting 12.5% from three and overall you're shooting 44.4%, that means from 2-point range, RJ Barrett was lights out. And you saw it. Got to the rim at will and hit most of them quickly. 15 points, 3 assists, 50% from the field. Again, 33.3% from 3-point range. Josh Hart, This line doesn't even tell the story. 8 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 50% from the field, 100% from the free throw line, 2 of 2, and those were 2 clutch free throws that put the Knicks up 4 with 15 seconds to go in the game. I love this guy. Again, 47.7% from the field, 29.7% from 3, and this is the second game in which the Knicks shot over 80% from the free throw line. I don't know if this is something we can count on, but they went to the line 21 times and they hit 17, and we needed them. Shot 81% from the free throw line. For the Lakers, D'Angelo Russell was just killing us. 33 points, 5 rebounds, and still doled out 8 assists, 4 three-pointers, 68.4% from the field. Anthony Davis, 17 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. He also had a block, 44.4% from the field. You know, iHeart played him well. The Knicks as a team, played him well. This is somebody easily could put up a 36, 40-point game if your defense ain't right. Schroeder, 13 points, a rebound and assist, 54.5% from the field. Reeves, 13 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 66.7% from the field. They shot 48.3% from the field, 33.3% from 3, and only 58.8% from the free throw line. They only went to the line 17 times. The Knicks only went 21 times. So this definitely wasn't a free throw fest. They only hit 10 for 58.8% from the field. Let me see if there's somebody else I want to talk about. Grimes in his 25 minutes, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 2 for 4 from the field. I like Grimes attacking the closeouts. Obviously, if you have an open 3, you should take it, and he does. But when they close out on him, I love the way he attacks the closeout, puts the ball on the floor, gets into the key, right? Either finishing at the rim, and he finishes at the rim at a very good clip. High 60s, low 70s, if I'm not mistaken. Really good. Doesn't take a lot of opportunities at the rim, but he's a really good finisher at the rim. Or if they come over, he's a willing passer and he's able to make the pass. You can be willing, but if you don't have the vision or the ability, right, it could be a turnover. So I just like the way he plays. He's going to be a good one. Um, Emmanuel, quickly, we talked about Isaiah Hartenstein. We talked about McBride. We talked about as well. Obi Toppin was 4-6, only 1 3-pointer, right? So those other 3 baskets were at the rim or in the key. 9 points, we needed it. McBride, 8 points, we needed it. And there's something to be said for timely shots as well. Somebody can have 8 points. Every point matters, don't get me wrong, but there are times in the game where you really need a basket, right? You're trying to get back in the game or you're trying to hold on to a lead. You really need a basket. That's what I call timely baskets. And McBride hit 1, if not 2, timely baskets for us. I like the way he played um, last night. We were outscored on the bench. I think it was 25-43. But a lot of what the bench did not show up in the box score, particularly Hartenstein and Josh Hart. All right. This is just the team stats, and then I'll check in. I'll check in with the with the chat again. Knicks out rebounded them 46 to 37. Um, both teams had 11 turnovers. Neither team shot the 3 very well. Both teams shot about this 47.7, 48.3, pretty similar in terms of shooting percentage. The Knicks with the huge edge as far as free throw shooting, and you can argue that was the difference in the game. They were 10 for 17. They missed 7. The Knicks were 17 for 21. You can argue that was the difference in the game. Points in the paint, 56 to 50, and the Lakers on the season get more points in the paint than the Knicks on average for the season. But last night it was the Knicks. Second chance points 14 to 11 and fast break points. We need them. They have more than we did, but the Knicks don't usually get 21 fast break points. I think this was the second game in a row we had over 20 fast break points. Listen, When one of your best players is out, you need easy baskets, second chance points, just trying to score, you know, uh, get some points when you're not playing against a set defense. 21 fast break points, you know, um, I'll take it. All right, let me check in with the chat really quick, and then we will cover the spread. 13th and the 4th. Yes, that was RJ Barrett. Salute Smoking Nick. Appreciate appreciate you. Can't even enjoy the win without the nitpicking. What's the nitpicking? I can't like I go through these really quick, so I don't have the flavor of the chat. The other thing I want to say is sometimes I'll miss a chat. So if I don't put yours up, it could have been that I just missed it because I do read the chat after when I log off at the end of the show, and I'm like, wow, that was a good point. So don't take it personal if I don't read your chat. I could have just missed it. Craig, Steph, who has Grimes locked down this season? I remember Luca going for 70 on him. Listen, listen, listen. There's going to be games like that. Grimes is a very good perimeter defender. So is Quickly. They are. Does that mean you're going to stop the opposing player? No. And listen, Grimes get the toughest assignments every night, right? So even when you look at defensive rating, you can't even go by that because two guys can have similar defensive rating, and one guy is playing the best player on the opposing team night in and night out, and the other guy's playing the fifth best player on the team, right? So sometimes you can't even go by defensive rating. Grimes' job is to make it hard. That's it. The guys that he's playing, he's not stopping them. And yeah, every once in a while, no matter how good you play, the caliber of players that he's playing, yeah, ever so often they're gonna drop 50. Ever so often they're gonna drop 40. Those are the caliber guys he's playing. The Doncic, the Tatums, the Siakam. I mean, he's not getting a easy matchup on any night. So I don't have any problems with Grimes defensively. Does he get beat at times? Yes, but so does every other player on the Knicks. You know what I mean? So, I like what he's doing defensively. I think he's right there defensively, and I think as the season goes on, he's gonna get more consistent with his three-point shooting. And when that three-point, because look at the open looks that he gets. When he becomes a Buddy Hield, and he becomes those players that knock down open shots, the Knicks are gonna be that much, um, better. All right? Okay. Yeah, Jerry Fitz. Why does Randall shoot the text when IQ is on the court? I don't understand, but he hits them though. He hits them. 40 wins. Let's get 45. Yeah, yeah. Jersey Rick, appreciate you. Good game, but Randall don't need to handle the ball and bring it up the court, especially in crunch time. I mean, I just think that he doesn't need to handle the ball that much, period. Just go down the court, get into your spots. Get into your spots. But listen, Jalen Brunson is out. Randall is gonna get the ball in crunch time, and he should. That's just it. He's the best player right now on this team with JB, being out. You can argue he's the best player, period. He's gonna get the ball in crunch time. There's just no you're not gonna go away from him. Now, does that mean he has to take the shot? No. But the offense is gonna go through him in crunch time. That's just how it is. Jerry Fitz, Randall needs 39 more threes to break 28's franchise record for a season set last year. That will happen. That will definitely happen. All right, let's talk about the Knicks and where they are in the Eastern Conference race. Still tied with Brooklyn. Brooklyn owns the tiebreaker somewhere. Oh, they have one less loss than the Knicks. That's what it is. So they're 39 and 29. The Knicks are 40 and 30. Both of them are 3.5 games behind Cleveland, but they're tied with each other, but the Knicks are in the 6th spot. Brooklyn is not going away. 5 and 5 over their last 10. Seems like it's more than that, but I think they're won 3 of their last 4 games, if I'm not mistaken. They won their last 2 games, including beating Denver. So they're playing at a really high level right now. The Knicks 7 and 3 over their last 10. We won 1. We still have a 3.5 game lead over Miami, you know? So and when you're talking about the playoffs, maybe that's what we should be focusing on instead of Brooklyn and Cleveland. That dotted line. Are we above the dotted line? And right now, we're still 3.5 games over Miami, but we play them 2 more times. Yeah, 2 more times, right? But I feel good about the Knicks. You know, even though it was a 3-game losing streak, if you watch the games, the Knicks were right there, you know? So I feel really good about where the Knicks are. All right, let me check in. Let's talk about Portland, then I'll check in with the chat again. Again, Knicks 40 and 36 in the Eastern Conference, 7 and 3 over their last 10. They won 1. Portland, 31 and 37, 13th in the Western Conference, so they're out of the play-in at this point. Things can change. There's still games to be played, but if the season was to end today, they would not even make the play-in. As far as the offensive rating, the Knicks are top 10 in offense and defense and net rating over their last 10. Portland is 17th in offense, 29th in defense, and 27th in net rating over their last 10. And they're 3 and 7 over their last 10, having lost their last 3, right? So, over their last 10 games, they have not been playing well. All of that being said, this is why you play the games, right? The games are not played on paper, right? I think they're gonna have some urgency to get off of their 3-game losing streak, right? You saw how the Knicks were, you know, maybe they were tired, but they came out with urgency with the understanding that, listen, we can't lose 4 straight. We got to stop this. They're gonna be thinking the same thing, you know? Um, Dame Lillard did not play the last game. Will he play tomorrow? I mean, Tuesday? I'm not sure, right? But this is a winnable game for the Knicks. Yes, Cam Reddish is gonna be motivated to show that he could play, but we already know he could play. I don't think there's anybody on the Knicks fan base who thinks Cam Reddish can't play, right? Josh Hart is just a better fit for us than Cam Reddish. That's all it is, right? We've lost to them early in the season. I think the last time we played them was in November. We were a different team at that time, right? Brunson is not going to play, so I anticipate the same starting lineup for the Knicks: Quickly, Grimes, Barrett, Randall Robinson, and for them, Anthony Simons, Cam Reddish, Matisse Thybulle, Jeremy Grant, Yusuf Nurkic. That's who played the last game for them, right? All right, let's check in with the chat. If you guys have any questions, comments. Cody, appreciate you. Cam revenge game. Yeah, yeah. Cam, listen. He got a point to prove, you know? I don't know in his mind, maybe he feels like, "Oh, y'all think I can't play? I got something for y'all." So, yeah, he's gonna be ready. Ricardo, yesterday was a good overall game for everybody yesterday. Yes, he was. Jeff Clafter, appreciate you. We gotta get this win. We do. Let's salvage this road trip, right? If we come back 2 and 2 on this West Coast swing, Imma feel better. JJ Dame has a calf injury. I see him being out that game. Portland might be going tank mode. Okay, you might be right. Jeff Kafka, BK has some struggles right after the deadline. They seem to have adjusted, to say the least. They playing well. Okay. Jarrell, why isn't this the Josh Hart revenge game? That's right, Jarrell. That's right. You know, Josh Hart gonna have something to say um, as well. David L., all our guys are gonna take turns clamping his weak game. I don't know. I mean, listen, he's long, he's lean, and he's getting the minutes and he's going to get the touches, especially if Dame is out. He's going to get the touches, right? I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the challenge. All right, Ashley Deuce is slowly adjusting his defensive adrenaline down when taking shots. He is a complete baller. Cam may put up 40, 10, and 6 eyeballing Tibbs like MJ did with Van Gundy if he has a real dog in him. I think Cam will play well. Um, 40 points. Salute Kerry Cox. Kerry Cox, I didn't redesign the shirt. So if you could go to the website and just send me a screenshot of anything you want on the site, I will send it. I will send it to you. Keith Turner, where are all the Julius Randle haters this morning? They ain't talking today. Listen, Keith Turner. I said yesterday, it's a one-off. It's a one-off. You know, Randall has processes in his life right now that help him refocus. He doesn't have to wait till the off season to refocus. He could do it overnight, and he did. I had zero concerns about Julius Randle coming into this game. None. And he proved that. 25 points in the first half. Love watching Deuce fight over screens. Yeah, yeah. All right. This is a little something new I'm putting up about the teams that we're playing. I got Dame picture here. He might not make it. The Knicks are averaging 115 points on the season. They're averaging 114.6. And this is the difference between points per game and offensive rating. You know, it's hard to compare teams because you don't know what pace they're playing at. You know, Portland is averaging as many points as the Knicks, but if they're a slow paced team, averaging 114 or a fast-paced team averaging 114, it's just hard to compare teams just looking at points per game. What the offensive rating does, it says we're gonna give each team 100 possessions. How many points does each team score in the same 100 possessions? And it makes it easier to compare teams. That's the difference between points per game and offensive rating. The Knicks are a better rebounding team than they are. Assist-wise, they're a little um, better. Turnover, they're not a high turnover team as well. The Knicks are 12, they're 13.8. They shoot 48% from the field. They shoot a little better than us from three. They shoot better than us from the free throw line as well. But again, a lot of that is with Dame in the game, right? This is season averages. If Dame is not playing, that changes the complexity of the game for them. It changes the dynamic of the game for them. Just like, Brunson being out changes the complexity and the dynamic of the game um, for us. You know, as far as second points in the paint, the Knicks are better. Second chance points, the Knicks are better. Fast break points, Portland is slightly better. And this is what I'm saying. Fast break points, the Knicks average 12 on the season. The last two games, they had 20, 21. So just figuring out ways to generate points, getting out in transition, getting some easy baskets so that, you're not playing every possession against a set defense where they can load up on Julius Randle, especially when you're not shooting well, and especially when Brunson is not there to take some of the load off. All right. Tonight, 8:30 p.m., Queen's Court on Nothing But Knicks channel, where we'll talk about the entire week slate of games with a panel. So those who are here, come through, and see what DJ Shuttle, um, Tony Crow, and whoever else is going to be joining me tonight. And then I'll be back Wednesday to recap the Portland show. All right. I appreciate everybody watching. Let me just give some love on my way out the door. Craig, Pudge Nice, Jerry Fitz, appreciate you. Dame is out. We need not to relax. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Pudge Nice, Jerry Fitz, Ashley Inc., Geraldine MacGyver, always a pleasure. Ricardo, David L., Jeff Clafter, cover the spread in here, giving us the RJ business, making sure we understand that he played well last night. I hear you, cover the spread. I got you. Thomas Banks, I appreciate you. Craig, Keith Turner. Soulfinger 12 in the building. West Coast, I appreciate you. Pablo M. Cody, Keith Turner. Jarrell, Stafford Don. Hopefully I don't miss any. I might miss you. If I miss you, it's not personal. Jerry Fitz, Reg Ice, I appreciate you. Tim Smith was in the building early, repping the realist. I appreciate you. Pamela Willis, the smoking Nick. I think I got to everybody. If I missed you, it's not personal. I appreciate everybody. Catch me tonight again on Queens Court, and then I will be back Wednesday.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul, sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. You know, Step from the NBK. Born and raised up NBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?